an option to have it on the right side. Not sure why. Not sure why. Hope we're all well. Granite Tech Talk number 12. Number 12. We're talking a little bit about Pixel today. Yeah, the Pixel Fold leaked. It looks very interesting. It's looking more real by the day, and yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. The form factor they're going for, that sort of thing. Talk a little bit like that. There's the feature drop we've just had for the Pixels as well. The December feature drop. Pixel 7s. Pixel 6s have got some things. But not all the things. Not all the things. Yes, this is the Tech Talk. I know we don't usually do this on don't usually do it on Twitch, but I'm trying to do it more there just to sort of bring a few more people in. I do want to talk a little bit about the about Nothing as well, if we get a chance. I'm only going to be doing about an hour today, so all being well, we'll try and cap it an hour. I mean, the last few streams I think we've done have been like just crazy runtime. I think we've gone to like an hour 45 or something ridiculous. So we're going to try and keep it a little bit shorter. That's all good, Slayer. I mean, you use plenty of tech though, right? You use tech. I'm sure you do. You use a phone. You use your whatever, laptop, PC, consoles, whatever it is. It's all tech. We don't always get too technical on here. It is called grounded tech after all. You know, it's not intended to be super complicated. But there you go. But whatever you feel comfortable doing, mate. If you want, I appreciate you lurking. To say that much, I really do appreciate the lurk. Oh man, I really did let this tea get too cold. I made it way too early. I was still setting up. I was still getting everything set up. I've actually got the Nothing phone as the cam today. We were using the Pixel 6 Pro for the last few streams, and I've been using the Pixel 6 Pro for my camera on my game streams as well. But I thought I'd switch it up and go for the Nothing phone today. Nothing phone actually looks really good. It looks really good. Works great. We tried using, on my game stream, Jimmy, welcome in, mate. Good to see you. We tried using the Oppo. So I tried using the Reno 8 Pro, this one right here, as a webcam. But it kept cutting in and out. So the app would sort of just disconnect, reconnect, disconnect, reconnect. I wasn't entirely sure why it was doing that. I need to look at that a little bit closer. But for some reason it wasn't happy. So we ended up switching to I think we just went to the Pixel. The Pixel's just solid for that. I don't know why, but it is. It just works really well. How are you doing, Jimmy? You well? Oh, we're loving the cold weather. The cold weather's definitely arrived. I mean, we are only 15 days away from Christmas. And yeah, winter is well and truly here now. It's I think it's probably below 0 degrees out there now. It must be really close. I mean, it was like only like 1 Celsius at one point earlier. Oh, it says 2 degrees. Oh, okay, it says 2 degrees. But that was at 2:05. I'm refreshing. 1 degree. Ooh. I think there is some snow forecast. Yeah, we've got snow forecast through the night, but not much. So I think it'll be fine. But it's looking like it's going to be below 0 multiple days this week. Maybe multiple nights as well. J-Man, welcome in. How you doing, bud? So yeah. It's well and truly winter. I hope you're all ready for Christmas. I hope you've all got your presents ready. Some nice tech gifts. Maybe. Maybe. I've got my... I've just taken delivery of this bad boy right here. So, if you can see that. Hey, focusing's not bad, eh? Focusing's good. Yeah, focusing's really good. Look at that. Hey. So the Caseology Parallax case, which is a case I have for my Pixel 6 Pro. And I have also got it for the Pixel 7 Pro. Obviously, I don't have the 7 Pro anymore, but I have it for the 7 Pro. Very nice case. A lot of you will have had the Caseology Parallax because it's fairly popular. Got it for the Fold 4. So I've literally just had this delivered. We might try and pop that on while we're on stream. But I haven't got an overhead camera thing sorted at the minute. We will have soon. It's not quite there. It's not quite there. J-Man! Is that a follow? I'm guessing it might be Jimmy. And if that's still Jimmy or if it's somebody else. Okay, tea's done. I managed to drink it while it was still tepid. It's a great word, tepid, isn't it? I like tepid. Good word. Good word. So I don't know if this actually work. Can I actually share my actual screen here? So we had the Pixel Fold that has now leaked. And then people have done some renders and things. It looks actually really, really nice. Really, really good. Just gonna share. I'm gonna try and share this, see if it works. All right, let's have a look. So you should be able to see this. I can't even see what you can see now. That's bad, isn't it? But I think you can see it. But I mean, look at this. Look at that. Camera housing's obviously a little bit different. They've had to do it a little bit differently by the looks of things. That front display is just very, very similar to a Z Fold 4, but wider. It's a different form factor. I actually think it looks pretty slick. I think it looks pretty slick. The hinge doesn't look as thick. It's more of a sort of in between like a Find N, and then you've got like the Duo 2, which is even sort of wider. It sort of slots in between those two devices, and I think this is going to be it's going to be really good in that color as well. Don't you think it looks really nice? I'm kind of thinking. I mean, these are just renders and things, so we don't actually know what the telephoto is going to be like, but I would be extremely happy if they did sort of like maybe like a 3x, 2.7 to 3x telephoto. Maybe even bump up the ultra wide. Bump up the ultra wide. Same main sensor, and then give us like a 2.7 to 3x telephoto. I think that'd be pretty sweet. For me, anyway. I think that'd be pretty good. Obviously, it's going to have a Tensor G2. It'll likely have 12 gigs of RAM. This is something that people have been discussing a bit as well, is this bezel. Now, some people have been like really complaining that there is bezel. I am not of the opinion that bezel is really that big of a problem. I actually think it's beneficial. So especially when you're holding it and you're holding, you know, if you're holding a foldable, you're holding it open like this, you can actually hold the bottom and not worry about interfering with the screen. So I think that actually works really well. The Duo 2's got fair bezels. I think they're actually slimmer on the Pixel. I think that's nice. And then obviously you've got the camera inside the bezel there, which is preferable. I would much rather have a small bezel with the camera housed inside than having a full screen with a hole punch, because it kind of kills the immersion for me. That's what I really like about Xperia's, is that you don't have that the camera getting in the way of anything. You've got that full screen. And then, to be honest, I don't mind on the Fold 4. I don't mind the under display camera on there, because actually it's pretty visible. You don't really notice it most of the time. So I don't mind that solution either. I think once we get to the point of the under display cameras being good, then we'll see a lot more people adopting them. But I actually really I really like that. I think it looks nice. Power button looks a bit wider than I expected, but that's, again, it's just renders. So, and then we've got an actual video render. Hey, if only the crease was that flat, eh? If only that crease wasn't that noticeable. Oh, look at that camera housing. Because they're obviously making this fairly thin. That camera housing, if you're going to get those similar sensors in there, you are going to have to have... You're going to have a bigger camera housing. It's just like when people complain about the Duo 2 having that wedge on it. And like, oh, you should have been able to make it flush. Like, yeah, what? With what calculations are you making that assumption? Like, there's no chance. And people will probably complain similar to that. I would imagine that people will complain about this in the same way. I mean, it's Pixel. They'll find something to complain about. So we'll have to wait and see. But I actually think it looks pretty nice. To be honest, pretty good. And I'm just oh, that's all good, Jamie. That's all good. Don't worry about it, dude. Welcome back in. I don't know. YouTube's a bit funny sometimes. I mean, I prefer to be on YouTube. I prefer to sort of chat on YouTube and stuff. It's the same when I'm in like Juan's stream and TK's, because when I'm on Twitch, I'm under Air Guys TV, and nobody knows who I am as Air Guys TV, because everybody in the tech side of things knows me as Grounded Tech. So yeah, it's a lot easier to just talk on YouTube for me. So I just tend to stick to that. Yeah, you do get picture-in-picture as well, yeah. I've had that issue with YouTube before, though, I think, where it sort of boots you out of the keyboard. I can change my username, but Grounded Tech's taken. We've been over... I've actually spoke about this before, that somebody decided to take it. Somebody who used to be a friend. Very, very petty, childish person who decided to just take a name that he didn't need. Just to stop me having it. Not that it makes any difference, because I'm not bothered about Twitch anyway. So I'm happy with it being Air Guys TV for now. So yeah, what phone are you running at the minute, J-Man? Are you on Pixel? I mean, obviously, I took my Pixel 7 Pro back to swap it for the Z Fold 4, which, by the way, I'm actually quite enjoying. Cameras are so-so. I mean, they're sort of around the S22 level, but I feel like I'm not necessarily getting the same camera performance as I did on the S22. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. But it was a good deal. Got 6 months free airtime and unlimited data, which normally would cost like nearly 80 quid. And it's costing me 45 a month instead. So that is just a good thing to do, to try. I want to do a bunch of things. We're going to get a bunch of accessories and things if I can at some stage, to do some things that should be quite fun to do. We'll see. O2, mate. It's O2 that I got it through. So you're on a Pixel 7 Pro, and you used to be on a Exynos Galaxy S21 Plus. How do you find the difference going from the S21 Plus to the Pixel 7 Pro? What are your thoughts on that so far? Because I always find it. I don't know if you've had. A Pixel before. I can't remember if you'd said you had. So it'd be interesting to see what you think. But I've still got, fortunately, I've still got 3. You think 3? Oh, O2. Yeah, I'm on O2. I've still got a Pixel 6 Pro. So I picked this up just before the 7 Pro came out. And in terms of my actual usage, I feel like I get 90% of the Pixel 7 Pro on this phone. I don't feel like I'm really missing out on much. The only thing that bugs me a little bit on this phone, I have to say, is the screen brightness. So the screen brightness is a bit low. It is a bit low. And yeah, I do find it a little bit frustrating at times, but other than that, it's a pretty solid device. I actually don't feel like I missed the Pixel 7 Pro. I don't miss the Pixel 7 Pro. The cameras are very, very similar. I actually find the telephoto on this a little bit more useful because it's not as strong as the 7 Pro. And yeah, fingerprint reader a little bit worse, not massively different. Battery life is a little bit worse on this than the 7 Pro, but it's fine. Not a big issue. So yeah, it's seems to be perfectly fine. I got the feature drop on this as well, the latest update, and I think we had. I need to actually look at what the features were again because I can't quite remember. I should have brought this up beforehand. Whew. I'm sure I went on this the other day, so it should just pop up, but it doesn't seem to want to. Where is this? The Google blog. Let's have a look. There it is. So new features have arrived. Pixel drop. We've got the VPN for Pixel 7 and 7 Pro at no extra cost. I'm not entirely sure why that's something that can't be on the Pixel 6 series, but it's Pixel 7 anyway at the minute. Clear calling. So apparently Tensor G2 enables you to have clearer calls if they're in a noisy place, and that's obviously only if you're calling over, you know, the regular mobile towers, data towers, that sort of stuff, rather than using your Wi-Fi calling. So Wi-Fi calling is not going to have an effect on that. Again, I'm not entirely sure why that isn't a feature that can be on the Pixel 6. Unless there's something with the new Tensor that can do things that the Pixel 6, the original Tensor, can't do. Sleep insights. So, you know, you'll know if you're snoring more or coughing. I don't want it to listen to me. I'll be honest. New live wallpapers. More features coming soon. So yeah, there's a bunch of things, and most of them are for the Pixel 7 series. But yeah, I kind of feel like some of these features could have gone on the Pixel 6. I don't see why not. The Pixel 6 series is really not that much different to the Pixel 7 series. I know there's some enhancements that they made to Tensor G2 compared to the original Tensor. But I would have thought things like clear calling and things like that would have been okay to have on the Pixel 6. So I do wonder why things like that haven't come across, or like the VPN. I don't know why that can't be on Pixel 6 series. I'm just kind of worried maybe that, I mean, we've always sort of been used to Google releasing updates of Pixels, and then the previous Pixels still getting those updates if it's something that it can run, like camera updates. Like we always found that. Abraham, welcome in, sir. Pixels always seem to get the latest updates, no matter what. And I sort of understood, like, you know, when we got the Pixel 6 series, it was like, all right, so we've got Tensor now, so things like Magic Eraser and all these fancy things with Live Translate and everything else that's done on Tensor chip, we didn't get them on, you know, Pixel 5 or Pixel 4 XL, that sort of thing. So, fair enough. I was on board with that. But then as soon as we've got to the point now where it's like, we've got Pixel 7 and 7 Pro and it's getting features that Pixel 6 isn't getting, I'm just kind of curious as to why. Because as far as I can see, there's less of a difference with the Pixel 7 and 6 series with Tensor G1, G2 than there has been for years with Pixels. Like, there's always been a big bump up in CPU performance or GPU, whatever. And this is, we've got the exact same, well, pretty much the exact same CPU cores. The GPU is a little bit different. TPU apparently is a lot stronger, but I'm not sure if that's the difference. But I don't know what you guys think. I know, Ibrahim, you're on a Pixel 6 Pro as well. What did you think to the December feature drop? Because I'm a bit unsure about it. I don't feel like, I kind of feel like that it should have, the 6 series should have got more from that. Yeah. Jimmy. No, I agree. I do agree. I just, it's just something that's been on my mind since the other day. And I'm just kind of wondering if Google are starting to move towards sort of segregating the experience a little bit more. A little bit more like how Samsung do it. Because maybe they think, well, you know, we've always put all the features on the previous phones before, and maybe that's hindered our sales a little bit. So maybe we need to now start pushing less features to the older phones and try and make things a little bit more exclusive for the newer stuff so people buy the new phones. I don't know. That's an assumption. I'm just making a guess. But it kind of does feel a little bit like that at the minute. No. I mean a little bit more like Samsung. With Apple, when you get a new phone and you've got the previous phone does not get the features. It gets the new OS, but you don't get new camera features and things. Like Apple is shocking for that sort of thing. And Sony are the same as well with Xperias. They very rarely give features to the previous phones that they could well easily run, you know. So Samsung can sometimes release things, you know, release updates for their older phones, but they don't give them everything. So I think that's a sort of in between with Samsung, and I think maybe Google might be going that sort of. I think Google might go that sort of way. That's the thing as well, Ibrahim. This is sort of what I was thinking, is that maybe those features will just be exclusive to Pixel 7 for a limited time. But I didn't see anything there that said these features will be coming to Pixel 6 or 6 Pro later. You know, like they did when Pixel 6a came out and we got the camouflage feature in the camera. And they said that, oh, this feature will be coming to Pixel 6 and 6 Pro a little bit later. So, you know, a little bit unsure. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But like I was saying, I've been really enjoying the Pixel 6 Pro. This Pixel 6 Pro is a little bit beat up. It's pretty beat up. Like, the screen is in a bit of a state, unfortunately. And it's not because it's like covered in tons of scratches. There's one little deep scratch, but there's some weird like screen burning effects all over, which is really bizarre. But you can't see it unless you got it in certain light. But in terms of general use, it feels just as nice to use as a Pixel 7 Pro for me. I really don't feel like the 7 Pro, in terms of performance and the general use, it doesn't really feel any different, to be perfectly honest. I like my 6 Pro and I still can't believe a year has flown by. Mate, time's going at a rate of knots. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I wish it'd slow down a little bit, to be honest. But we don't have that power. So, you know, you guys are freezing. Gotta get that heating on, man. Gotta pay fortunes for that, those energy bills, right? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Adam's just woke up. Hey up, Adam. So yeah, I think I mean I might end up selling this Pixel 6 Pro just to get rid of it, and I'll get another 6 Pro at some point later for a discounted cost. Get something that's more sort of like in newer condition. But I also want an Xperia 1 fallback just for some to be able to film different, just be able to use it as my camera essentially. So, because it's perfect to use with mics and things. I mean, TK released a video the other day with the I think it was the Video Micro 2 from Rode, using that with the Xperia. And it's such a great little setup to have, having that headphone jack to use it as a microphone. If you're using it in a home setup, you can hook it up that way and have a charging cable in it, use HS Power Control, don't touch the battery at all, and then once you finish your stream or whatever else you're doing, you're recording, you've still got the same amount of battery life. So it's or you're not charging it whilst you're using it and affecting that battery health. So I really want to get that back. Gonna disappear for a bit for 30 minutes. I just got to run there and catch you a little later. No worries, Ibrahim. I'll probably be finished in about 30 minutes anyway, but appreciate you, mate. Hot water bottle, yeah. Good idea. Just don't burn yourself. So I do want to get that back. So it's going to be a case of, do I get that or a Pixel? Or an Oppo? Oppo's a possibility as well. Although I am going to be having Dave West has been an absolute gent, and he's volunteered to loan me his Oppo Find X5 for a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to trying that and comparing it to the Reno 8 Pro in photography, video, that sort of stuff, and see how it feels in general use. Because the The standard Find X5's still got a 888 in it, a Snapdragon 888, rather than the 8 Gen 1 that the X5 Pro's got. But I don't imagine that's going to feel much different in general use. So I'm looking forward to giving that a go. And you can get some good deals on that standard Find X5 these days. But then it's tricky because the standard Find X5 doesn't have any rating for water and dust resistance. Whereas the Reno 8 Pro has both. I think it's IP67 or something like that. So it's very well built, that phone. So it'll be interesting to sort of see how that compares and the trade-offs between both. But I am very interested in the Hasselblad camera features. That's what I'm really looking forward to trying. I really want to see what that's like, because the Reno doesn't get that. Adam just wants me to get the Oppo. It's almost like he's slightly biased, Adam. It's almost like you really like Oppos. It's funny that. So, yeah, there's a lot of good... The thing is, there's a lot of good phones out now, to the point where... I mean, the whole thing that I'm going to be doing with this channel going forward is we are not going to be necessarily trying to review new phones. I want to cover phones that are already out, they've been out for about a year, and even longer than that. I just want to try and promote second-hand, refurbished, older phones, rather than everybody just buying things that are new all the time. Because I think that's more of a help to the environment than, you know, having new stuff all the time, and especially getting new phones every year. Says me, that gets multiple phones. But for people that, you know, bang on about this stuff and they want actual changes to be made that are actual beneficial to the environment, I think we need to start trying to push people into devices that they keep for longer, and also try and get manufacturers to do genuine things that really do make a difference. Because let's face it, removing chargers from boxes, removing a little bit of plastic, it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. They need to be doing something a little bit more drastic. So that would be something that I want to talk about more. I've got a couple of ideas for videos. Yeah, need to script those up. But we're going to try and do more in that respect. Going to be doing a fun video with the Fold 4 once we get some accessories. And I'm going to be comparing it to something else and seeing whether it can replace something else. That will be a very interesting video. I don't know if anybody will care, but we're going to do it and see what happens. I'm not biased at all. I don't have a French flag outside my house at the moment. Why would you have a French flag out? Is that the white one? Is that the white? Oh no, it's not the white flag. That's more of a secondary French flag, right? Sorry, I couldn't help it. That's what puts me off moving away from Oppo. I want to buy a handset. I want to buy a handset with its accessories, not drop a grand on a phone, then £40 on a charger, etc. You know. Well, there's rumours that Oppo are going to be dropping chargers and everything else from their box from this next year. I don't see how they can, because obviously a lot of their fast charging tech, a lot of these really fast chargers have got proprietary tech. So it's yeah, it could be a little bit problematic, I would have thought. We'll have to wait and see. Yes, we're playing France. Yeah. RIP France. Quite excited though for the weather to go back to quite somewhat normal. Mate, we've got months yet. Buckle up. Buckle up. Did you see the articles on Apple and there being a set date finally on Type-C? Yes, I saw that they've had to accept it, that it's happening, and that the iPhones will get Type-C if they keep the port at all. Let's face it, it's Apple. You never freaking know. I can't remember if it's on next year's iPhones or the year after. But I would still... Yeah, so I think before that, I think they're going to come up with a wireless solution. I think they're going to use MagSafe. God help us. I think they're going to use MagSafe. I really do. I think they'll bypass it. I think they'll say, yeah, that's fine. We won't use Lightning anymore, but here's MagSafe. It's just another way to get around it. And so, well, our phones don't have ports, so that's just a feature. I genuinely think that's the route they'll go. I really do. There you go. Adam's literally just said what I said. So, yeah, you just know something like that's going to happen, right? You just know it. You just know it. Yeah. I can't, but I did see that there was a thing that I retweeted, I think, at some point. Can't remember if I did it last night or... Here we go. So FBI says Apple's end-to-end encryption of messages, photos, device backup, and more on iCloud is deeply concerning. Privacy groups, on the other hand, call advanced data protection a massive victory for user privacy. So the good thing is that Apple has apparently... They've apparently gone... You remember the whole CSAM thing? Where they were going to be able to access photos on your phone to scan it for, you know, explicit child content, to be able to remove it or whatever else. Well, it kind of seems like they're not going to be doing that scanning thing anymore. It looks like they've actually gone back on it because of the fuss it kicked up. Which is a good thing. It's definitely a good thing because it means they won't be scanning your phone. And we'll have to see if that actually happens or not, but that's sort of what's coming out at the minute. And the FBI are apparently not happy that they're not going to be able to get access to iPhones again. But that's good. That's good for us. That's good for us. That's good for consumers. I think that's better. It's definitely better. I know, right? That's actually a good thing. So at least they recognise the criticism. We'll just see if they follow up on that. But you never know with Apple. They might change their minds and just slip it in. I mean, we've had recently, of course, like them turning off features on iPhones in China because the government didn't want people spreading messages to further their revolt against the government. So Apple supporting a communist regime there just because they don't want to lose sales. Yeah. Not great. Not great. Not a good look. Don't think for a second that they wouldn't do the same to you. So, yeah, I think that should be that should have been spoken about a hell of a lot more. But yeah, they're it's not good. It's not good. Not good at all. Typical Apple, to be honest. I think they've done similar things in Russia as well. Surprising though, especially with the CCP and what Apple are like with privacy. Apple aren't really that good on privacy. Well, they haven't been. They say they are, but they haven't been. And the thing is, they Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they've done things for Russia as well because Russia demand access to people's information, and so does China. China wants complete control over people's information. That's why you've got a social credit system. That's why, as part of these revolts, people were having their bank accounts and such closed, or at least they were unable to access their bank accounts until they went and got their COVID vaccine. So it had basically come up on their phone, it had flashed red, and if they didn't get their COVID vaccine within a certain time or whatever else, they would lose access to their bank accounts. And that's the sort of system that they're trying to sort of weave into things here in America, whatever else. You've seen it with the COVID passports, similar sort of system. So they were trying to introduce these things. We pushed back on it a bit more, obviously, for obvious reasons. China, that's just China. I mean, people are getting very pissed off in China. There's a lot of rioting going on. But the Chinese government have a lot of controls over it, so they can try and shut it down and specify and target people however they like with the banking services and everything. So it's quite easy for them to do that. Basically, what is it? What is it on? I can't remember what it is now on Apple devices with the quick share through Bluetooth, whatever it's called. I can't remember what the thing is. I can't remember what it's called. But basically, people were using their iPhones to share messages to each other. So share videos, photos, whatever else between each other very easily. AirDrop, that's the one. I forget what it's called. Apple disabled AirDrop on iPhones in China, so people couldn't share it at the request of the CCP. So you tell me whether that's it's just bonkers. I just can't wrap my head around stuff like that. And it's just because they want to sell phones in China. They're selling very well in China at the minute. They're selling very well. They're making a lot of money. They make their phones in China. So they have to, give in to the demands of the government. That's just how it is. If they want to sell there. And they're happy to do that. We talk about, civil liberties and things and whatever else, but the tech companies are complicit in a lot of this stuff. I mean, we're seeing all the stuff coming out with Twitter at the minute, which is just unreal. Well known but unreal at the same time. And there's a lot of tech companies that are doing similar stuff. They don't really care. They just want money. And that also comes back to the environment issue as well, going on about net zero and all this sort of stuff. Net zero's not that... It's damaging to people, basically. It's doing more damage to people than it is good. And a lot of people will die because of it. So, we were quite happy to wear masks for COVID. That we get deemed for misinformation now that weren't very effective. We all know they weren't very effective. And now the ocean is clogged up with these fucking things, right? The ocean is clogged up with masks. And I'll say, oh, well, the argument would be, yeah, but we needed them to protect people. Okay, so the environment's expendable at the cost of protecting people. So why don't we scrap net zero? Oh, well, the planet's under threat. Right, so now the environment's more important than the people because millions of people will die because of these net zero targets and pushing this green agenda that is way overblown. It's just too much. And they really need to scale things back and think things through a little bit more because it's just ridiculous. Enough of that stuff anyway. On the note of Apple, I'm still unsure on this Mac Studio. Thankfully not dispatched, so I can cancel. May just go all in on DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, and After Effects and get the 7900 XTX once out. Don't make me jealous, mate. Don't make me jealous. What are you unsure about with the Mac Studio? It's very surprising about Tencent and what WeChat talked about in the video, and he talked about Huawei and Tencent owning quite the amount of companies. They own a lot of stuff, man. They own a lot of stuff, and they also, you know, they work with the CCP, so they've got to give a lot of information to the CCP. That's why there's all these issues with potential spying and things. But I don't think all Chinese companies are in on this sort of thing. I don't think, for the most part, the information that they get from your devices and things, I don't think it really made that much difference. I mean, all the Western companies have your information as well, and they're willing to do just as bad things as they are. So it's not really a massive deal, I don't think. Holy shit. The camera went for a second. Like, do I need two PCs? I've done some editing on my AMD desktop recently. It's just as smooth as my current 2010 Mac Pro, so it makes me wonder if it's worth bothering. So what are you thinking then? Are you thinking maybe get rid of your current AMD desktop and your Mac, get a brand new PC, like Cutting Edge, and then maybe a laptop? The only thing I will say, Adam, is the newer AMD chips that are coming out in the next few months are going to be so much better. Like, holy shit, so much better. They're going to have the three. Obviously, you've got the 7000 series at the minute. You've got a 7900X already. Oh, well, you're all right then. Just add a GPU. But they've got those 7900s, haven't they? They've got the 7000 series, but they're adding the 3D cache to the next lot. So you have a look at like what the 5800X 3D did. Holy shit. Like, there's going to be, especially for gaming, I think, and then whatever applications make use of that extra cache, but holy crap, it's going to be a mega jump. If you're happy with the 7900X, though, just stick with it. And then get the GPU. The 7900 XTX, where the frick it is. So you've got the 7900 XTX with the 7900X. What AMD and their naming, I swear to God. This year's not a good time for naming. Like, they've really not done well. What a way to confuse people. What a way to confuse people. But yeah, 7950X would be nice. But I don't think it's going to make a massive difference to you, in all honesty. Yeah, it's due soon. It is due soon. Very soon. But they're going to, I think they'll sell out pretty quick. I think the AMD cards this year are going to be far more appealing than the Nvidia cards. But I think more people still buy Nvidia because a lot of people, for some reason, still want that brand. But you look at the size of the cards, the coolers on those Nvidia cards are ridiculous. They're complete overkill. And I saw a comparison with the, I think the 7900 XTX side by side with the 4080. And it's like half the size. It's nuts. I'd much rather have something like that in my system than a 4080 that's just absolutely enormous. It's -1 out there right now, is it, Jimmy? Yeah, we're going out for a walk soon. gonna be a bit chilly. It's gonna be a bit chilly. Yeah, I think I might even put my my sim in the Pixel 6 Pro at some point, just to see how the battery life actually fares properly in general use, because I've not actually used the SIM card in this yet. Not for a significant amount of time anyway. I just really like I don't think this phone is really that big a downgrade from. I mean, I had a 7 Pro and then I started using this, and I don't, in general use, I cannot tell a difference. I really can't tell a difference. Obviously, you've got the nicer video recording and stuff, the better selfie cam on the 7 Pro, but I don't use that. I don't use a front-facing camera. I don't need it. I mean, I probably need it, sort of, but I don't need it. And I bet nobody, if I took a picture with the 6 Pro, post it online and said, this is from the Pixel 7 Pro, nobody would bat an eyelid. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. But, yeah. Unreal. So, Caseology. Caseology Parallax for the Z Fold 4. Let's have a little gander. I've literally ran this Fold 4 for a week with no case. I have been absolutely terrified. It's the most terrified I've ever been running a phone without a case in the whole time that I've had phones. I'm not even kidding. I've been scared to death. Oh god, we've got an installation guide. That's when you know it's going to go well. What the frick is that? Use additional adhesive strips. I've got to use adhesive. Oh my god, this is going to be a nightmare, isn't it? This is going to be a nightmare. I've got to use adhesive strips. These fucking things. Oh, that's going to be fun. We might not have to use a case in like 2 to 3 years' time. Here's hoping. In what sense, mate? Why do you think that? What makes you think that? There's the front frame. And here's the back part. Feels nice. At least that feels nice. Oh, don't buy into it, Jimmy. Don't buy into it. It's bullshit. Don't trust him. Don't trust him. The only phones you can run without a case are Windows phones that are made by Nokia, that are made out of solid polycarbonate. Those things are made of tight like tanks. You could drop them on concrete and you would break the concrete. That's how you make a phone. We've already had those phones. We've had them. We've totally had them already. I was laying in bed once and I dropped my Lumia 1520 on my face. I broke my jaw. That's a lie, but that's how it felt. So, they say that it's going to be more impact resistant. If it's more impact resistant, it's likely easier to scratch. Because they introduce more and more sort of plastic elements to the glass. And that becomes easier to scratch. That tends to be what happens. Like polycarbonate, as a plastic, you know, is basically bulletproof, but it scratches to all hell. It scratches to all hell. We've got Famer in the house. I come in, I hear about the concrete breaking from a Nokia, and I already like. It's because you know it's true. It's true. Hope you're well, mate. Or an iPhone's in like at least 2.5 to 3 years. Mate, you can drop an iPhone on a pillow and it'll probably crack. Don't trust it. I don't trust it. No. I just don't trust it. Yeah, this is going to be interesting putting this on. It's kind of strange. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking at the later case for the Fold 4. I think that's probably the best looking case out there at the minute. I'll see how this goes. If I'm happy with this, I'll stick with it. If not, I'll get the later case. It might actually be good for a review, to be honest. So, but there's probably loads of freaking reviews out there for it. Let's have a quick look. Later case for the Galaxy Z Fold 4. Review. Oh no, that's Z Fold 3. There's not many for Fold 4, is there? Yeah, that might be worth doing actually. If I do get it. If I get it. Right? If. Big if. Guys, we're coming up on an hour mark. I'm going to leave it there. It was just a... It feels like a fleeting appearance. I feel like we've not even spoken about much. But... It's an hour already. We're going to go out. We're going to have a little bit of food. We're going to go for a walk. In the freezing cold. But... I am going to go and get some photos while I'm out as well. We did a little photo comparison that I threw up on Twitter. If you haven't seen that, jump onto my profile. You should see that because I only posted it yesterday. And it was 2 images while we're out walking around the lake and at night time with a bright light and 2 phones, Galaxy Z Fold 4 and the Oppo Reno 8 Pro. The Reno 8 Pro won 76% of the vote. 5 more minutes is fine. 76% of the vote. And it's basically a higher end mid-range. And I think that was partly because of the Mara Silicon X chip in there. The extra chip that's there for processing of images and things, especially night images. I think that helped it. And it looked really good. The detail was good. I wasn't too keen on the yellowness, but, you know, we can excuse that. And it wasn't with a night mode either, so it was pretty impressive. What's this? Or maybe clamshells like the Flip 4 Motorola, let's say a decade. Bloody hell, mate. I don't even know what this is going to look like. How's all this going to look like in a decade? Like, seriously. Like, could you imagine, like, in 2012? What did we have in 2012? What were we using? I think I was using Windows Phone. I think I was just about... I think I was using a Lumia 800 maybe? Or a 920... No, I got the 920 later on. Can't remember. Maybe I got the 920 that year. Like going from like a Lumia 920 and whatever Androids were around at the same time to what we have now. Like, holy crap. Imagine what it's going to be like in another 10 years now that we've got foldables and whatever else. Like, it's crazy. It's pretty crazy. Maybe we'll just have it all implanted in our brains soon. We'll be transhumans. Ooh. Could be interesting. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to put this bloody case on. It just looks weird. And then we're gonna get out and get some food. Because getting pretty hungry now, to be honest. And need to get that before we go for the walk so I don't freeze to death. And I'm going to need another cuppa. So probably going to nip to Starbucks as well. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Setup's going to be changed a little bit more over the next couple of weeks. So we'll have like an overhead camera and stuff and be able to, you know, look at things a little bit easier. Be able to show things off a little bit better. So things are evolving. And we'll get there. We'll be back on here with another stream next Saturday. I'll try and standardize the time a bit. I want to try and make it a little bit later, sort of like 7 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock, that sort of time. We did come on quite early today, so yeah, I'll try and do better with that next week and try and have a few more things lined up to talk about. Do I have Yorkshire tea bags at home? Yorkshire tea? Yes. Of course. Why wouldn't you? You know? Is that what you've got? I hope so. Same for everybody here. You've all got the same tea bags. Even if I like the other ones, you should still have Yorkshire tea. Right. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Take it easy. Enjoy your weekend. Stay warm. Stay grounded. I will see you very soon. Punjana. Jimmy's just caught my eye before I got off there. Punjana. I've never heard of that. I'll have a look. Take it easy, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.